Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Melt with Nat and Jack. I'm Natalie. If it's your first time here, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you so much, welcome back. So I've been tagged by Charity Rose to do a video on why wax, how I got started in wax. So I'm going to try to keep it short because I could ramble on about my wax experiences here, but I am going to I got to start from the beginning. So even in my teenage years, I had a babysitting job, babysitting neighborhood kids and my friends. I mean, we all worked. And on the weekends, like Saturday, we'd go to a local mall and there was like Bradley's and there was a Spencer gift shop, whatever stores. My friends and I would go in, they'd go right into Bradley's and I'd go into Spencer's. I always wanted the new potpourri scents or the sticks that you put it, the whatever you call those, in the oil for my room. I always loved home fragrance. So started with that. When I moved on my own, I discovered a Yankee Candle store and bought a couple candles and I loved them. So I would burn candles and then I stopped for years when my kids were little. And then, you know, as they got older, I might buy a candle here and there at Bath and Body Works. So then everybody moved out. My son went into the Marines. 4 years later, my daughter went into college, or 3 years later. No, they were 4 years apart. In school, I'm thinking school years. They're actually 5 years apart, but in school years, they were 4 years apart because Jack started school early. Another long story. So I lived on my own for like a year. For the first time, I was by myself. I had nobody but me. So I got back into my candles again. My granddaughter was born. My son got out of the Marines. For the first year, they didn't want to move back to New Jersey. They wanted to stay down in the Carolinas, trying to get all of us to come live down there. And when they realized we are not moving to the Carolinas, a year later, my son called and said, we want to come home. Okay, so come home. I have plenty of room here for them. So he's like, all right, well, we already booked you a flight for, it was 10 o'clock at night. We already booked you a flight for 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I went the whole night with no sleep, got on an airplane in Atlantic City, flew into Myrtle Beach. My daughter-in-law picked me up. We went back to the house. My son already had the U-Haul stuff hooked up to his truck. And then he drove with the dogs in his truck pulling the U-Haul thing. I drove with my daughter-in-law with the baby because that was the whole reason for me coming down. She didn't want to drive with the baby by herself back to Jersey. So now I'm on like 2 nights with no sleep. What we do for our kids, right? So they moved back in here. So they were here for 2.5 years before they bought a house over here by me. My daughter was still in college, so stopped burning candles because I have a 1-year-old now in the house. It was like a month after they moved back, because they moved back in March. It was my granddaughter's, like a week after her first birthday. And my daughter-in-law and I went to a local craft show. And there was a table. And I'm like, oh, what is that? I walk up to the table, and she's now my director. Colleen is running the table, and I go, what is this? She says, these are warmers. This is wax. And started explaining Scentsy to me. And I'm like, wow. She was telling me how safe it is for the kids in the house and yada, yada. So I bought a warmer. I bought wax, came home. And of course, my daughter-in-law Googles it to make sure it's safe to warm this with my granddaughter in the house, like the scent. And everything comes back A-okay, it's safe. So we start with one warmer, and from there went down the rabbit hole, bought another warmer from Colleen, more wax. And one day I was at work, and I went on YouTube, and I YouTubed Scentsy, and Lisa Rowberry pops up. I've heard a few people saying that. Well, same for me. Lisa Rowberry pops up, and I'm like, wow, this Scentsy stuff is even on YouTube. So I clicked Lisa Rowberry, started watching all her videos. A few weeks later, in my news feed, I see Danny. Danny Lives Life. I'm like, and she's has a video on Kay's scented wax melts. I'm like, oh, I thought Scentsy was the only. I didn't even know there was such a thing as vendor wax. So I click on Danny, and I'm watching about Kay's. come home from work that night. I go in my room, I lay down, it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I go on Kay's website, and I see, wow, you can make your own customs. And I was like a kid in a candy store. I started making my own customs. My very first order with Kay's, I'm honest with you guys, was over $450. So I placed this order. About 5 minutes later, I get a thing on my phone. I have a message in my Facebook Messenger. I open it up. It's Carla. She's up. It's like midnight, and we're talking back and forth. She's thanking me for my order and yada yada. I'm explaining to her how I'm new to vendor wax, and I just saw Danny's video. I've only warmed Scentsy and yada yada. And that's how I started down the rabbit hole. And then from there, I started finding, I was watching Etta. I was probably watching Etta before Dan. I was watching a lot of just Scentsy. So Etta, Susan Fitzpatrick, Charity's videos. I'm trying to think who else. So many I was watching. But in the beginning, it was just like a lot of just people that doing Scentsy. And then it started with, I started finding other vendor YouTubers. And so that's how I got into vendor wax. And then my director, who's now my director, who was my consultant for 2 whole years, kept saying to me, I need you on my team. I'm like, I don't even have time to brush my teeth. I'm so friggin' busy. Are you kidding me? Like, rates were so low with mortgage rates, because that's what I do is title. I'm like, Kyle, I would never commit to tell you I could do something that I can't. Very long story short, when COVID, when the C word hit, my daughter's college, Maryland, got shut down. She came home, ended up lost her. She was watching Twin Girls. So I said, why don't you do this Scentsy stuff with Colleen? You know, I'll help you as much as I can, but why don't you do that? So that's how we ended up with Melt with Nat and Jack. I was supposed to just like help her. Meanwhile, I was doing all the work, but she was the tech. Like, I couldn't have done it without her. She's my tech girl. She set up the YouTube channel and all that. And that's how we came with Melt with Nat and Jack. And she does help me. She's just not on camera that often. And whenever I have a tech issue, she's here and she's working it without batting an eye. And yeah, like, so what wax has done for me is probably saved me from a nervous breakdown, because wax helped me so much. I had a warmer at my desk at work. There were times I'd be in my office till midnight and back in at 6 a.m. again, because we were short-staffed. We were very busy, and that was my thing. Like, that kept me calm. Watching videos as I work kept me calm. I just found so much joy in it. And then I started like really meeting some people that I feel like I've known my whole life. Some great people that I feel like family. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like we're our own world. I sometimes say we really should have a wax reality show. All of us so crazy with the FOMO, with Teddy B's, when she has her 4 times a year pre-orders, how everybody's crazy, and all of us, including me, I'm top. I'm right up there with everybody. And but it's definitely brought me so much joy. And my daughter has told me, Mom, you started this journey for something to do for you, because everything I do is for my family, for my animals, for my friends. And this is the one thing that's like mine that I love. And I love sharing it with my friends and my family, and I do. But it's like the one thing for me, you guys have done so much more for me than I can put into words here, because I'll need a box of tissues. I've just met so many great people, and I just love this community. I'm so honored to be a part of it, and so blessed to have so many people that watch my channel. Like, when I first started my channel, I said to my daughter, I'm like, I got like 20 subscribers. Like, I was shocked. She goes, Mom, when you hit 100, Hector and I will take you out to dinner to celebrate. And I never even paid attention to that. I was like overwhelmed that I even had 20 people that subscribed to me. So I've been so blessed and honored. I love you guys so much. And now I'm going to tag, I feel like there's so many things I'm not saying, but we're doing a live tomorrow night. So if you guys want us to continue on our wax journey and how we got here, so many pieces I'm probably missing along the way, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell, keeping it short. I'm going to tag 3 people. So many have been tagging so many great people. I hope you all go watch their channels, but I am tagging Etta Harrison, at Etta Harrison. I'll put her in below. Melissa Haight. So she's Melissa, H-A-I-G-H-T. Again, she will be below. And then I'm also going to tag now on Facebook. She is Diane. I got to L-E-T-U-L-I-E-R, Letelier. If I'm saying that wrong, Diane, I'm sorry. So that's her name, but her channel is Minaret 1230. I hope I'm even saying that right. M-I-N-A-R-E-T 1230. I'm going to put all 3 of their channels below in my description and tag your it. Bye, guys. Love you. Hope you join our live tomorrow night. Bye.